Hey guys, welcome back to Let's Get Dirty Garage, where today I'm going to try and make a regular stock windshield fit like a flush one. I looked at the flush ones and yeah, I haven't got that much money, so we're going to go the cheap route and see if we can't kind of get the same look without spending the same dollars. So that's the mission for today. We got a lot of cutting and grinding, and I'm sure a bunch of rusting to fix and fun stuff like that. So got a ton to do. So let's go ahead and let's get dirty. Is this thing on? Yeah. Okay, so I think it's time to try and fit a windshield, or at least, you know, get things prepped for that. And I looked, there's a bunch of different companies that make like flush glass, you know, so they're mounted without the chrome trim. I think that is the way I want to go. But looking into those things, they are spendy. I think a couple of them that I looked at were, you know, by the time you get them shipped and stuff like that, it's like $1,500, and so, yeah, that's not going to happen. So what I ended up doing is picking up an original glass, you know, and basically the flush mount glass, what they do is make the glass just a little bit bigger all the way around, so it, you know, takes up the space. So my thought was, you know, why don't I make the windshield frame a little bit bigger and take up the space? So we'll see if that works out. I don't know, but so I ended up picking up an OEM glass, and the OEM glass is really cheap from a local supplier. I mean, you know, doing the math, I can break 10 of these and still come out ahead. So I think it was like less than 130 bucks for the windshield. So got that with the antenna in it, because that's kind of the way it came. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean this up and get it taped up so we don't ruin it. And then let's do kind of a quick look on the car and see how much gap we do have to take up, and we can kind of pick it up from there. So we'll see if we can't make a flush mount glass out of a OEM size glass. We'll give it a shot. Okay, so in order to get this windshield frame prepped, I got to remove like all these little studs that the old clips went to. And got a few little rusty spots along there, so I'm going to clean all that stuff up and do some welding and filling in there and try and make sure that we got a good surface to be able to mount that new windshield into. So I'm going to get started on that and clean all this stuff up, and we will go from there. Okay, well, got all the little studs out of there, but as you can see, that mounting flange is a little bit rough. I mean, it's still solid, no real rust through, but it's just, you know, kind of pitted in a whole bunch of areas. So I'm going to spend the next couple of days and just try and weld some of those deeper spots in, get that ground down, and get it ready to modify. So I'm going to waste some time on that, and we will pick it up at that point. Okay, well, many hours and struggles later, I did get this top edge kind of solidified a little bit. It's a little rougher than I thought it was. Probably should have replaced the metal rather than, you know, welding over the top of it and grinding it flush, but it is in there. It's not pretty, but it's solid. Probably would have been easier to stick weld the Titanic back together underwater, but I don't know how to stick weld, and I can't swim. But anyways, so I'm thinking we're ready to just try and test fit that windshield in here. For spacers, I just cut up some old radiator hose, you know, just kind of prop that up because that glue thickness has got to be in there. And to kind of locate this up and down, they have these little brackets that are like windshield supports. Mine were all rusted out and so on, so I just made a couple of quick ones and took a couple of measurements and guessing at where these got to go, but this just is holding the bottom of the windshield in place. Kind of get it up and down, I guess. So like I said, we're just guessing at trial fit, and I got one thickness of that radiator hose on the bottom and a couple on the top. It's a little thicker up there. So let's grab the windshield and take a quick look, see how it lays in there, and what kind of adjustments we got to do. Got this all taped up so I don't scratch it or fun stuff like that. Fingers out of there. See what kind of gaps we got. Looks like I got to come out a little bit more on that top here. Let me throw another thickness of this stuff in that center. Yeah, that's not too bad. Might have to come out a little bit on the bottom as well. I think this one's got to go down a touch. Too much. I'm just trying to get it a little bit centered in there. We'll take some measurements. I think it's kind of close. Go down on this corner here. and we'll take a look and see how it all fits up. So we will pick it up at that point. I'm going to do just a little bit more shimming and kind of figure out where things have got to go. So we'll catch up then. Okay, well, I got the glass centered in here, played with a bunch of different shims and trying to get it in the right spot. And do have a gap about a finger's width on both sides. So we've got to be able to fill that. And I think that should be pretty straightforward because this is a straight piece. Along the top though, if in the center, it's about 1/8 of an inch gap. I got an 1/8 inch piece of metal here, kind of all the way across up until it hits right about here. And then both of these corners are a little bit tight up in there. So I think what I'm gonna do is actually take a little bit of a chunk out of these corners. Just kind of maybe slice, along something like this. Maybe get the sparkly wheel of terror and slice into the roof just a little bit, and then see if I can take this edge, maybe make a little bit wider slice over on this side and kind of like tap this edge back so that I can get this to kind of fit in those corners. So I want to leave the windshield frame alone, but just kind of fold it that way, I guess. Yeah, something like that. So anyways, I think that's what I'm going to try and do. I'm going to mark this up a little bit and then pull this glass out. And then let's make a couple of slices and do some banging and smashing and see if we can get it close. So, we'll figure it out. But that's the plan. Okay, so I got these eyebrows marked out on both sides, kind of where I want to make a slice here. So I guess no time like the present. Let's get to messing stuff up. So I'm just gonna take a quick run down it here and see what happens. I think that should do for that portion. I'm going to try and make a little slice over here, kind of relieve that corner. So that should mess that up just fine. Now if we can take just a little bit of persuasion here. think we're getting close. So I'm gonna go ahead and mangle up the other side, and then we'll fit that glass back in here and take a look and see how much damage we did. So we will pick it up at that point. Okay, so here's what I ended up with other than the ugly gash I got to fill. We got a gap that's pretty even all the way across, so I think that will do. So let's clean this up. I'm going to have to use some welding rod or something to cut my gap too wide, but let's go ahead and clean this stuff up and get some welding done, and we should be good for the top. So big fun. Okay, well I think I got this ready to start attaching. This roof sank in just a little bit, so I'm just going to pry up one in the center here and try and get that back flush, and then put a tack in it here. So see if we can't get these to match up. I think we're pretty flush there, but I'm gonna have to take a whole bunch of time to kind of stitch this together, just because I don't want to warp that roof too bad, and I got a pretty big gap in there, so I'm gonna have to do a little bit of filling along the way. But let's go ahead and get started. Okay, well I think that's pretty decent. Got a little bit of finishing to do on this edge up here, but didn't feel like warped anything too bad. So I'm gonna finish up the other side, and then let's throw the glass back in here and take a look. Okay, so those corners are fitting much better. I think I got a pretty even gap, about 1/8 of an inch all the way across. I think anything else can be really taken up with body work and so on. We'll take a quick look at the other side. But I think that kind of does what we were after. Gets everything in there kind of at least even. I'm gonna have to come out a little bit in the center here, and these are pretty flush on the corners here, but I think that glass is a little bit flatter than the roof, but when we actually install that, we can clamp these corners down and get a little bit more flushness all the way across. So I think we're pretty good on the top. Now I just got to figure out what to do with filling these gaps here in the side. So that'll be next. All right, well, we got the top done, and I'm pretty happy with the way that turned out. I mean, we can massage the glass as we install it and so on, but I think the gap should be good on these sides. I'm thinking I got a chunk of 3/16 by 3/4 here, and I think I can just take that and kind of tack it in that side, and then, you know, just kind of measure my gaps as I go along, take another piece of 1/8 inch and just make sure that I'm got an 1/8 inch gap on the sides as we go, but I think I can get that in there, and then kind of grind that surface. I'll leave that a little bit proud and try and fill everything up in there. So, but in order to do that, I'm gonna kind of try and fit this chunk in here a little bit. I'm gonna do a little bit of grinding on the bottom, try and take a little bit more off, and then we can kind of fill in those corners up here and kind of follow the curve of the glass. I think we can just build up a little bit of weld or something on the corner. We'll figure that out as we go. So got a couple of ideas up in there, but I think that can fill that side okay, and still give me plenty of room to get the adhesive down on the flange in there. So that's what we'll do. I'm gonna take and grind a little bit more of that off, and then try and fit that in there and kind of tack the ends, and then go along and space that out as we go. So I'm gonna grind this off and throw a little primer at it, because I don't want bare metal in between there, because I'm sure there'll be water and such and goes down in there, but we'll pick it up at that point. So, by the way, you know, I interviewed for a job up at the local diner the other day. I think they were trying to trick me. Manager says, she says, well, what do you bring to the table? I said, I can't answer that. She kind of looked at me, said, I don't even know what they ordered yet. Okay, well, let's get some work done. Okay, so I got this 3/16 by 3/4 strip ground down and fitting, I think, and should be able to slide in there, and got it primered up and all that fun stuff. So I think with the windshield in place, oops. I'm going to try and zap this in where it's got to go to get me the gap that I want. Got an 1/8 inch spacer here. See if I can get that lined up. And leave it a little bit proud, so I got some grinding room. But let's get the ends of it at least in place. Okay, I think that leaves me a pretty good gap. We'll get just a couple more in there. Okay, should be even all the way down, so now we can pull the glass out and do some finish welding on this. I'm gonna have to grind this edge down a little bit and try and get that a little bit back flush, but let's pick it up there. Okay, well I think that gets us a start at it. I got a lot of sanding to do to get out grinder marks and so on. And I'll obviously have to work on this corner up here just a little bit and try and smooth out that transition, kind of see if the curve is okay for the glass. But let me go ahead and get the other side in kind of the same way, and then we'll plop the glass back in and take a quick look. Okay, well, here's where we ended up. I put these clamps on here just to make sure it was flush on the sides, but we got, you know, that 1/8 inch gap that you're looking for, kind of up all the way around. Got the corners trimmed in across the top. So I think actually we are in pretty good shape. We'll check out the other side here real quick. But basically at this point, I think any OEM windshield will fit because I didn't have to modify the glass or anything. So got the gap in there, corners in, so everything's kind of flush across the face of that. I think we should be in pretty good shape, and obviously these are flush, just got the clamp holding everything in there, but that's the way we'll glue it in place. And adjusted my stops a little bit, shimmed a little bit, but I think it looks really good. So I got a bunch of cleaning up to do, and I'm going to throw some primer at this opening, and we are pretty much there, I think. So pretty excited about that, and saved a lot of money. So we'll pick it up at that point. Okay, so everything is in and primered up, and I think looking pretty decent. And gaps are pretty good. Did a quick alignment. Obviously we'll finish aligning it when we get it installed and all that fun stuff, but that's a long ways off because we got so much body work to do and everything else. So anyways, I think, you know, these pillars are a little bit wider, but honestly, if you didn't have another one right next to it with the window moldings off, I'm not sure if you could tell or not. So, but I think it looks good, and cheap way to do what we're trying to do. So I'm excited about that. But I think that we're going to call that a win. Okay, so kind of as a last step in that whole windshield thing, I want to try and clean up this old trim that's got every color that it's ever been painted on it. So I'm gonna try and buff all this mess out, clean it up a little bit with some hand compound and so on, and realize that, yeah, that's just not gonna fly, because it's just gonna take too long and never look right. So get out my old polishing setup here, and here's the setup. I got a old bench grinder from Sears from the 80s. Bearings make noise. I got a wore out wheel that I got from I think Harbor Freight, and then I got some stick stuff, polishing stuff that I got out of the clearance bin at Home Depot. So, you know, and I got all this clamped to a plastic table. What could go wrong? But anyways, I started cleaning up. You can see kind of, this is after I actually cleaned it with you know, hand compound. And it's just really rough and so on. And I started on this end just to see how it would clean up, and it's cleaning up pretty decent. So I'll kind of show you what I'm doing as I go along here. So the key to this is kind of only doing half of this at a time, because you always want your wheel going off of an edge, not catching an edge. So anyways, let's get this bad boy fired up and see if we can't make this a little bit prettier. Just got to put a little bit of this stick stuff on the wheel, and then just work a little section at a time. Just kind of gently, a little gentle pressure up against it. You don't want to get it too hard up in there, and you definitely don't want to stay in one spot too long, or else it'll get so hot that it starts burning stuff. So just kind of moving things back and forth and around. And get all the little edges and scratches out of that. But it takes quite a while, especially when you're dealing with a really used up piece like this is. So best tool you can have is patience at this point, I think. But we'll keep going on this. See if we can't make it shine a little bit. Okay, well, this is starting to come around. It's got some pretty deep scratches in it, and just cleaning it up with glass cleaner, get the compound and stuff off. But you can kind of definitely tell the difference between polished and not polished. So got a lot of work to do to try and get the rest of these scratches and stuff out. So I'm going to go ahead and get busy on that, and we will catch you on the other side. All right, well, we got the glass all in, and the trim piece on there looks pretty good. I think it cleaned up pretty nice, and we'll fit all the corners and fun stuff to it. But I just threw a couple of screws in it for the time being. But I think from that perspective, we basically got, I don't know, we spent 130 bucks on a windshield and about 10 bucks worth of metal. And we got the same kind of look and fit that $1,500 windshield will give you. So I'm in. But everything should be good from there. So I think that'll do it for this edition of Let's Get Dirty Garage. And hey, listen, I appreciate you guys so much, and leave me a comment and let me know what you think, if this was worth the effort or not. I mean, probably crazy, but I'm good with it. But anyways, yeah, leave me a comment and let me know what you think. And if you haven't yet, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the little buzzer bell thingy that notifies you when and if I can get another one of these done. And tell a friend, tell an enemy, tell somebody. Have them subscribe to the channel. We really appreciate all the feedback and enjoy interacting with you guys. So, hey, I really appreciate you guys watching. Thanks for getting dirty with me today. We'll see you next time. Take care.